Realme Neo8. I'm not going to give you a spec sheet style review. There is no need to reinvent the wheel here. Let's stick to our usual format. 3 pros, 2 cons, and 1 buying advice to break down the new Realme Neo8. First, let's take a quick look at the design. I'm not sure how you guys feel about this look. Actually, the design of the Realme Neo series has always been quite bold. They aren't afraid to experiment with different elements, and the results are usually pretty good. Since the Neo 7, we've seen this striped mecha design. Fast forward to today, and it now integrates stripes, circuit patterns, and lighting. The back panel is glass, with a raised island for the camera module. From the side, you can see, it features a translucent design. The outer rim of this deco is likely plastic, though the lens covers are glass, of course. They even added a small RGB light on the back, which gives it a nice, fresh touch. The overall phone has a fairly boxy design. The back is quite distinctive, while the front bezels are reasonably well controlled. The bottom edge is slightly wider, but it's not that noticeable visually. After all, it is quite a large device overall. It is powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5. Like I said before, this really isn't a flagship chip. I don't get why every marketing campaign keeps calling it a flagship processor. Is that at Qualcomm's request? Not so sure. Anyway, let's cut to the chase and get into our core topics. 3 pros. Pro number 1. The first pro is this screen. It is an exceptionally good display. For a phone at this price point and positioning, it's got a 165Hz refresh rate. Realme calls this the Kangshung screen. The panel uses the M14 substrate. It's the same material used in the iPhone 17 series. Actually, a screen of this caliber is usually reserved for flagships like the iQOO 15. Even though this is a value-oriented phone, only the top-tier models in this segment would use such a screen. The manual peak brightness reaches 1000 nits. Plus, it features full brightness DC dimming. The actual visual experience is excellent. The entire display looks incredibly vibrant and clear. Now, let's take a look at it from the side to check out the viewing angles. The second advantage is the Geek Performance panel. This is a major standout feature for this phone. Of course, you might not see the benefit right away. So, where does the advantage lie? By default, it already runs at fairly high frequencies. But what's the real benefit here? It can bypass cloud control to a certain extent. Because during the summer, many manufacturers use cloud control to throttle performance in order to keep the heat in check. This has basically become an open secret in the industry. Many brands are doing this. The benefit here is that it hands over the CPU and GPU core scheduling authority back to the user. It lets the user decide for themselves. This way, even in summer, if you have a good cooling setup, like using an external cooling backclip, under these conditions, you can break free from cloud control. You can keep the frequencies maxed out to maintain a superior gaming experience. The third advantage is the telephoto lens in its camera setup. For a gaming-oriented device at this price point, this telephoto lens is exceptionally good. It's a 50MP periscope telephoto lens that supports 3.5x optical zoom. It has a massive advantage in its price range. Its performance in architectural and portrait photography is excellent. Additionally, the main camera is 50MP with a 1/1.56-inch large sensor size. For a mid-range phone positioned for esports, a large sensor main camera and a periscope telephoto lens can both be considered a pleasant surprise. Of course, this 8MP ultra-wide is definitely a spec filler lens, so don't take it too seriously. Alright, that is it for the 3 pros. Now, let's talk about the cons. Though keep in mind, these disadvantages are somewhat subjective. The first disadvantage is, I personally feel that its back cover is just pseudo-transparent. The build quality feels a bit lacking. Based on the leaks and marketing I saw earlier, I was hoping it would be like the Nothing phone, meaning a truly transparent back cover with internal decorations. Because as everyone knows, the Nothing phone and the OGA group are inextricably linked in many ways. So, if the Realme Neo8 took a page from Nothing Phone's book, that would be perfectly understandable. But now, it seems, the back is essentially just ordinary glass with a printed coating underneath. Here is a disassembled Realme Neo8. Let me show you this back cover, and you'll understand what I mean. The back is just a single sheet of coating. There's no special craftsmanship involved. As a result, the physical device makes these patterns mimicking PCB circuit boards. And these mech-style decorations actually look like they lack depth. It just feels very flat. The texture didn't meet my expectations. And as you can see, this back cover is also a bit of a fingerprint magnet. Now for the second disadvantage. The second drawback is the battery. It is an 8000 mAh unit. It is not that this spec is bad, but we need to look at the competition. For example, the Honor RT has 10,000 mAh, the OnePlus Ace 6T has 8,300 mAh, and the iQOO Z11 Turbo has 7,600 mAh. But the iQOO device is physically much more compact than this one, and it looks much more refined. So, this 8,000 mAh battery, in my opinion, considering the phone size and ergonomics, isn't exactly an impressive feat. Now, let's talk about the buying advice. For the gamers out there, go for it. Especially if you also like using the camera to record your daily life. Its screen, cloud control bypass, and camera offer a very significant advantage. Let's talk about this large sensor periscope telephoto. This telephoto lens can indeed cover most of your daily shooting needs. Personally, I rarely use the ultra-wide angle unless I'm traveling and shooting landscapes. In daily life, the main and telephoto lenses get the most use. The main camera goes without saying. It is the most versatile focal length. The telephoto is great for food photography or capturing close-ups of toys and other objects. So, I think a telephoto lens is essential. And this one performs quite well. Alright then, this review of the pros and cons of the Realme Neo8 ends here.